People don't fall for lies, they fall for trust. And today, you're going to learn how that trust is created and controlled. Welcome to Career Canvas Power, where transformation becomes your identity. Here, we turn knowledge into real power for your life. When you hear the word power, you imagine dominance, control, maybe even force. But let me tell you something that most people will never understand. Power does not always shout, sometimes, it whispers. In the teachings of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, there is a law that sounds soft on the surface but is dangerously sharp underneath. Law 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Now listen carefully, because this is where your illusions must break. You have been taught that honesty is always good, always pure, always moral. But the real world does not reward innocence, it rewards awareness. People expect lies. People are ready for deception. They walk into conversations with hidden guards, with silent suspicion. But the moment you show them honesty, real, visible, emotional honesty, they relax. Their guard drops. And that is where power begins. This law is not about becoming a good person, it is about becoming a smart one. It is about understanding human psychology so deeply that you can control the game without anyone even realizing they are playing. And if you don't understand this, you will always be the one being controlled. Let me be brutally honest with you, one moment of truth can hide 100 lies. That is the ruthless reality of this law. People don't judge you based on everything you do, they judge you based on what stands out emotionally. So when you give them one strong act of honesty, one genuine gesture of generosity, it hits them deeply. It confuses them, it disarms them. Suddenly, in their mind, you are different, you are trustworthy, you are safe. And once that image is built, they stop questioning you. They stop doubting you. They start believing you, even when they shouldn't. This is not magic, this is human weakness. People want to trust. They are tired of being cautious all the time. So when someone gives them a reason to relax, they grab it without thinking. And that is where most people lose the game. They think emotions are truth. No, emotions are doors. And the moment someone opens that door for you through selective honesty, you walk in. This law teaches you to create that door. Not by lying all the time, but by choosing the exact moment to be honest so that it creates maximum impact. That one moment becomes your shield. Behind it, you can hide intentions, strategies, even manipulation, and nobody will suspect you. That is power. Cold, calculated, and real. At the core of this law lies a simple but dangerous psychological truth: trust lowers defenses. And you need to understand this deeply, not just on the surface. When a person trusts you, their brain literally changes how it processes your actions. They stop analyzing every word. They stop looking for hidden meaning. They stop being alert. Why? Because trust creates comfort, and comfort creates blindness. This is why the most successful manipulators are not the ones who lie the most. They are the ones who know when not to lie. They use honesty like a weapon. They give just enough truth to build credibility, just enough generosity to create emotional connection, and then they step back and let the other person do the rest. The victim starts believing on their own. And when someone believes on their own, you don't need to force anything, they convince themselves for you. Think about it. Have you ever trusted someone so much that you ignored the warning signs? That's exactly how this works. This law is teaching you to understand human nature at its rawest level. People are not logical all the time, they are emotional, they are biased, they are desperate to feel safe. And if you can give them that feeling, even temporarily, they will give you access to their mind. But here is the ruthless truth: you must not become emotional yourself. The moment you start believing your own act, you lose control. This law requires discipline, awareness, and timing. You are not being honest because you are kind, you are being honest because it serves a purpose. That is the difference between the weak and the powerful. The weak react, the powerful calculate. And if you truly understand this law, you will realize that honesty is not just a virtue, it is a strategy. Now understand the engine behind this law, because this is where most people stay blind and powerless. Power is not gained by being honest all the time, That is what average people do, and average people get average results. Power is gained by choosing the exact moment when honesty will hit the hardest. When you show honesty at an unexpected moment, it shocks people. It breaks their pattern. They were ready to doubt you, ready to question you, but suddenly, you say something real, something transparent, and their mind freezes. Then you add generosity, not fake, not forced, but calculated and visible, and now you have done something dangerous. You have created an image of sincerity, of goodness, of trust. And once that image is planted, people stop looking deeper. This is where confusion begins to work in your favor. They start telling themselves, if this person is honest here, then they must be honest everywhere. That one assumption becomes your advantage. And listen carefully, people don't verify assumptions, they live inside them. That is how influence grows silently. You are not forcing them to trust you, they are choosing it themselves. And once they choose it, they defend it. This is the mechanism, simple, but ruthless. You give them one strong reason to believe, and they will ignore 10 reasons to doubt. Now go deeper into the human mind, because if you don't understand psychology, you will always be the one being played. Humans are not as logical as they think they are. They are emotional creatures pretending to be rational. The moment they see honesty, they feel safe. Not because they verified it, but because it feels right. Honesty creates emotional comfort, and comfort is addictive. Then comes generosity. When you give something without asking, it triggers a powerful reaction called reciprocity. People feel they owe you. They feel a silent pressure to give something back, even if it is just trust. And then comes kindness, consistent, calm, controlled kindness, which slowly builds loyalty. And loyalty is dangerous, because once someone is loyal to you, they stop questioning you. This is the point where critical thinking starts to disappear. They don't analyze your actions anymore, they defend them. Even if you make a mistake, they justify it. Even if something feels wrong, they ignore it. Why? Because they have already decided who you are. And once a human decides something emotionally, logic becomes weak. This is not kindness anymore, this is control. And if you don't understand this, you will always be the one giving your trust too easily, becoming loyal too quickly, and getting used by people who understand this law better than you. Let me make this brutally clear, this law is not teaching you to be honest, it is teaching you to be strategic. If you walk into the world thinking constant honesty will protect you, you will be crushed by people who understand how perception works. Strategic deception is not about lying all the time, it is about mixing truth with intention. It is about using honesty like a tool, not like a habit. You choose when to reveal truth, when to hold back, and when to shape the story. Because in the real world, perception is more powerful than reality. People don't react to what is true, they react to what they believe is true. And you have the power to control that belief if you are aware enough. A single honest act can act like a shield. It builds credibility so strong that people stop looking behind it. And behind that shield, you can carry hidden intentions, silent strategies, and calculated moves. This is not evil, it is awareness. Because whether you use it or not, others will. The question is not whether this game exists, the question is whether you are smart enough to play it. If you stay naive, you will become the victim. If you become aware, you gain control. And power, real power, always belongs to those who understand how to control what others see, feel, and believe. Now listen carefully, because this is where most people fail without even realizing it. There are people who think deception alone is power. They lie again and again, manipulate again and again, thinking they are smart. But in reality, they are becoming predictable. When you deceive constantly without showing any honesty, people start noticing patterns. They may not say it immediately, but inside, suspicion begins to grow. And once suspicion enters, trust begins to die. And the moment trust dies, your power disappears. Because deception without trust is useless. Nobody believes you. Nobody listens to you. Your words lose weight. Your presence loses influence. You become just another person trying to fool others, and people are not that blind. Slowly, doors start closing. Opportunities vanish. Even when you speak the truth, nobody accepts it, because you have destroyed your own credibility. This is the harsh reality: if you abuse deception, it will destroy you. The lesson is simple but brutal: without trust, deception has no power. You cannot control people who don't believe you. So if you don't learn balance, you don't become powerful, you become irrelevant. Let me show you how this law works in the real world, not just in theory. Look at Victor Lustig, one of the most famous con artists in history. This man did not rely on lies alone, he understood human psychology at a deeper level. He presented himself as a government official, dressed well, spoke with confidence, and most importantly, he appeared open and transparent. He didn't act like a criminal, he acted like someone you could trust. And here is the most dangerous part: at one point, when one of his victims became suspicious, Lustig did something unexpected. He returned the money. Think about that. A con artist returning money? That one act shocked the victim. It erased all doubt. It created a powerful illusion: this man is honest. And once that belief was formed, everything else became easy. The result? His targets trusted him completely. And with that trust, he pulled off one of the most unbelievable scams in history. He sold the Eiffel Tower. Illegal, impossible, insane, yet it worked. Why? Because people don't fall for lies, they fall for trust. The lesson here is ruthless and clear: one small act of honesty can unlock massive deception. It's not about how much you lie, it's about how well you control what people believe. Now bring everything together, because this is where real understanding begins. Trust is not just a feeling, it is a weapon. And like every weapon, it can either protect you or destroy you, depending on how you use it. When you show honesty at the right moment, you create credibility. And credibility is more powerful than force, because people follow it willingly. Then comes generosity: it builds emotional connection. It makes people feel valued, respected, and safe. And once they feel that, they open themselves to you without resistance. This is where most people make a mistake: they think power is about control from the outside. No, real power is control from the inside. You don't force people, you guide their perception. A single sincere act can hide many intentions because humans believe in consistency. They think, if this person did something good once, they must always be good. And that assumption becomes your advantage. So what do? You disarm suspicion first. You lower their guard. You make them comfortable. And only then do you act strategically. You don't rush. You don't expose everything. You control the timing, the image, the perception. Because in the end, people don't see reality, they see what you allow them to see. And if you master this, you don't just influence situations, you control outcomes. But remember this final truth: if you don't learn these rules, someone else will use them on you. And in that moment, you won't even realize when you lost control. Now listen very carefully, because this is where careless people destroy themselves. Every powerful tool comes with danger, and if you don't respect it, it will backfire on you. If you overuse honesty, it loses its power. When you are always honest, it stops being special, it stops creating impact, and people start taking it for granted. Then comes the biggest mistake: fake sincerity. You think you are being smart, but humans are not fools. They can sense when something feels off. Your tone, your behavior, your timing, everything exposes you. And once people feel that your honesty is not real, suspicion rises even faster than before. Then comes the worst situation: when your deception is exposed. At that moment, everything collapses. Not just one relationship, not just one opportunity, your entire image breaks. And once trust is broken, rebuilding it is almost impossible. People don't give second chances easily when they feel manipulated. Also remember this: too much generosity can also look suspicious. If you keep giving without reason, people start questioning your intention. They wonder, why is this person doing so much? And that is the point: you lose control of perception. So understand this deeply: balance is everything. Honesty must feel natural, not forced. It must come at the right time, not all the time. If you lose this balance, this law will not give you power, it will expose you. Now this is where real intelligence begins: not just following a law blindly, but knowing when not to use it. Because no strategy works in every situation. There will be times when selective honesty will fail. When you are dealing with highly suspicious people, experienced individuals, or those who have been betrayed before, they don't trust easily. Your honesty will not impress them, it will be tested. In competitive or hostile environments, where everyone expects manipulation, your strategy must change. Because there, even honesty can look like a trick. Sometimes, complete honesty becomes more powerful than selective honesty. When you are fully transparent, when you have nothing to hide, it creates a different level of strength, a strength that cannot be easily questioned. And sometimes, in harsh realities, deception without honesty may be required. Yes, it sounds uncomfortable, but the world is not always fair. Situations exist where survival demands strategy without softness. So what is the real mastery? It is not honesty, it is not deception, it is the ability to choose. The ability to read people, read situations, and decide what works best. You don't become powerful by following rules blindly, you become powerful by understanding when to bend them. This is the difference between a follower and a strategist. And if you don't develop this awareness, you will either become too naive or too reckless, both are dangerous. Now bring this knowledge into real life, because knowledge without action is useless. Start with small steps. Be honest at unexpected moments, not to impress, but to create impact. When people expect you to hide something, reveal a truth. That moment will stay in their mind. Then offer small acts of generosity, not big, dramatic ones, but simple, meaningful gestures. Help someone without asking for anything. Support someone when they don't expect it. These small actions build something powerful, trust. And remember, trust must come before influence. If you try to influence without trust, people resist you. But once trust is built, influence becomes natural. Then comes the real strategy, mix truth with intention. Don't reveal everything, don't hide everything. Control what you show. Create an image of reliability so strong that people start believing in you without questioning. But never forget, sincerity is a tool, not your identity. You use it when needed, you control it with awareness. You don't become emotional, you don't become careless. You stay alert, you stay aware, you stay in control. Because in the end, this is not about fooling people. This is about understanding human nature so deeply that you are never fooled yourself. And once you reach that level, your words carry weight, your actions carry influence, and your presence carries power. So now understand the final truth of this law. Honesty is not weak. Generosity is not weakness. When used with awareness, they become weapons more powerful than deception alone. Law 12 teaches you that by showing sincerity at the right moment, by offering trust signals at the right time, you can lower people's defenses without force. And when defenses are down, influence becomes easy. Control becomes silent. But the real secret is not honesty, it is balance. If you are always honest, you lose strategy. If you are always deceptive, you lose trust. And without trust, you lose everything. So what must you do? You must learn to use honesty with purpose. You must learn to create trust, not just earn it. Because in this world, trust is not always natural, it can be engineered. And the one who understands how to build it, control it, and protect it, that person holds real power. So don't just listen to this law, understand it, question it, and apply it with intelligence. Because in the end, the world does not reward the most honest person or the most deceptive person. It rewards the one who knows exactly when to be both. Thank you. Power without awareness becomes destruction. Use this knowledge not just to influence others, but to protect yourself from being influenced. Remember, real power comes from understanding and applying. Stay connected with Career Canvas Power, your transformation continues.